What exactly is happening here? What's happening to the agencies, and who's getting the money, who shouldn't get the money?
Well, thanks for having me. So basically, to understand a little bit about what's happening here, we have to learn a little bit about the unemployment insurance systems that were created in the wake of the pandemic. So we think of regular unemployment insurance, but when the pandemic happened in last March, a new program was created called Pandemic Unemployment Assistance, or PUA for short. And essentially, this program was created for those who are not traditionally eligible for unemployment benefits. So think people like gig workers and self-employed workers. And while the structure of the program was built to get money quickly to people, it also, given who it was trying to help, made it so that you didn't have to have an employer verification like you would for normal regular unemployment insurance. And so that has made the system ripe for fraud. So as you mentioned, billions have gone to people who need this money. But a federal watchdog actually found that they think at least $63 billion has been paid improperly, mostly due to fraud over the last year.
$63 billion, an absolutely staggering amount of money. One organization, according to your reporting, found that some unemployment insurance registrations have been in Japan, the Middle East, Africa, and in Michigan, a claim examiner and a co-conspirator, according to your reporting, have been charged for their alleged role in making off with nearly $2 million. Is this money that the government gets back?
So this money, so as you mentioned, so these fraudsters are everywhere. They're not just in the United States, and they are here, they're internationally, and these security companies have come to try to beef up these systems for states. In terms of whether the money comes back, the states have definitely been trying to recoup some of this money, but it's hard. I mean, California reported that about 95% of the payments that it's made that have gone to fraudsters are in this PUA program. So the scale is massive. And, states are doing the best that they can. They've come up with different identity verification tools. They've worked with third-party vendors. They're even having randomly selecting people to do video calls to show that you're a real person. But the scale is just massive. So for instance, I was talking to the acting director of Illinois' unemployment insurance system, and she said just through the year through January, they've stopped 1.1 million claims arising from identity theft.
What about the $1.9 trillion stimulus package that the Democrats pushed through recently? Is there a chance that this is going to happen with that as well?
Yes, there definitely is. I mean, the thing about the $1.9 trillion package is that it extended this PUA program into September. And that's great news for the millions of Americans who are relying on that money and that support. But it's also a potential bonanza, for lack of a better word, for fraudsters. But I would say that, a lot of these identity kind of verification tools that I mentioned, some of those weren't in place from the beginning. So states are really trying to get a hold of this. The Department of Labor actually launched a website yesterday that centralizes a lot of these reporting resources for fraud, and money in the latest stimulus bill, about $2 billion goes in part to fighting fraud. So there's efforts to stop this, but the problem is, obviously, as these measures get better to try to stop fraud, there's also people who get inadvertently caught up in the process, and the delays that they see in terms of getting money when they get incorrectly flagged for potential fraud can last weeks and have devastating consequences.
The biggest stories the moment they happen from around the globe. Subscribe to Bloomberg Quick Take now for insight in an instant.